Lesson 2.3, Concept 2, Creating a Graph of a Situation. So when we are creating a graph based on a given situation, we're going to do a number of steps. All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the range of values. Okay, we're going to look to see how much we're going to have to adjust our graph. All right, if we have values like these, we can say, okay, well, my minimum value is 1 to 5, and this is for the bus stop. All right, and then my passengers, my passengers is from 1 to my largest value of 8. All right, and then I'm going to look at my graph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so since my graph has more spaces on it than my range from 1 to 8, then I know I can just use each square as being one person or one stop. All right. I'm going to use my bus stop as my x values. So I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's all I need. And then I'm going to have my y value be my passengers. So I'm going to have 1, 2, and I'm going to skip and go 4, skip 6, skip and go 8. All right. And now I've got my graph drawn. I've looked at my values. I'm going to label the axes. So this one I decided was passengers. And this one was stops. All right. So I can keep clear which one is which and where to put my data points. And now I'm going to graph my data points. So at bus stop 1, so along this line on the x-axis, there were 4 passengers. So up to 4, and I'll place my data point there. Bus stop 2, there were 6 passengers. At stop 3, there were 3 passengers. Stop 4, we're down to 1 passenger. And stop 5 all the way up to 8 passengers. Okay, so I've graphed my data points. All right, now the last step is to decide whether I should connect the points or not. And this is basically deciding whether this should be a discrete or a continuous graph. Okay, now the question is, am I going to have different data between the two data points? So is this going to be a graph where my stop 1 passengers change from stop 1 to stop 2? Like, are they jumping off the bus as we go, down the street? Well, probably not. Hopefully not. All right. Which means that I'm going to have the same number of passengers all the way from stop 1 to stop 2. And then people are going to get on, people are going to get off. And at stop 2, I'm then going to have a new number of passengers. Okay, because there's not going to be a line connecting these data points, this should be a discrete graph. I should not connect these. Okay, now down to another example. Okay, so now we've got sprinters with the number of meters they can run per second. So this looks like this is going to be my seconds. And this is going to be my meters. Okay. So my first job is to look at my values. Well, I go from 0 to 8. Okay, so that's fine. I still have enough room for that. And then for my meters, I go from 0 to 61. So that's going to be too many. I'm not going to be able to have one box equal 1 meter for my y-axis. All right. And I've decided to use my seconds for my x-axis because that's generally where you put time. Usually time, seconds, hours, whatever your time unit is going to go on your x-axis. So I'm going to put my seconds down here, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and on and on and on, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then this is 8. Right. Let's see what else. I need 7, 6, 5. There. So I've got all the seconds for my data that I have. And now I'm going to go, let's see, I think probably counting by 10 is going to be my best bet for my meters. So I'll have 0 here for both seconds and meters on my x and y axis. And then I'm going to come up and I'm going to have 10 and 20, 30, I'm going to skip, go 50, skip 60, go 70. Okay, and that should be enough. All right, now label my axes. I've got, I already got seconds down there, so let's put meters up here. Meters. And now I'm going to put my data points in. So at 0 seconds, my sprinters have gone 0 meters. So I've got a point right there at the origin. At 2 seconds, my sprinter has gone 10 meters. All right. At 3 seconds, they've gone 18. So it's not going to be quite up to 20. It's going to be somewhere in there. So it looks like they picked up speed. At 5 seconds, 32. So just above 30. And then over at 8 seconds, it's going to be up here at 61. So right above 60. All right, and so now I've got my data points graphed, and my last step is to decide whether this should be a continuous or a discrete graph. And if I'm thinking about it, if a sprinter is running, they're going to be running, they're going to be moving the whole time. So at 1 second, they're going to be at a different place than either 0 seconds or 2 seconds. So this should be a continuous graph where I can draw my lines to connect my dots, and I've got my curve, okay? And we can see that as the runner is going, they're picking up speed, and they're making pretty good time.